The following has been paid for by the Pens World Order. You know, Kyle Dubas, I just wanted to come home on a Sunday night, done with work. You know, got a little overtime this weekend, but oh look, it's July, it's trade season, and the Pittsburgh Penguins have completed another trade done earlier this day as the Pittsburgh Penguins have acquired Artus Silovs from the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for Chase Stillman and a fourth rounder in the 2027 draft. This is the Let's Go Pens fan react. Thank you to all of you who have made my previous video about Matt Dumba over 300 views. I don't get it. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment. Let's keep going into this. So, Artus Silovs, let's see here, 24-year-old left-handed goaltender, 24 years old, played for the Vancouver Canucks last year, 10 games played there in Western Canada, 10 games, 3.65 goals against average, and an .861 save percentage, which is not a bad save percentage in the 80s. But the most important thing to know about Silovs was that this past season, he was the playoff MVP in the Calder Cup playoffs for the Abbotsford Canucks, who are the 2024 Calder Cup champion. Or is it 2025? Anyway, you know what I mean. He was the playoff MVP for this past year. The Latvian-born goaltender will be 24 years old going into this season. It is year 2 of 2, so it is an expiring contract, if I'm reading this correctly. Yep, year 2 of 2. And we get him and we send out Chase Stillman. Chase Stillman. And a 27. This is all through Puckpedia, which is where we get all this. So, of course, this is big news for any Pittsburgh Penguins fan, because this means now, well, we have lots of goaltenders to play with now. That kind of came out wrong. But anyway, let's go with it. This means, as of right now, it is the Jari Silovs show in Pittsburgh. Of course, Jari still has 3 years on his deal and a modified no trade. Silovs isn't expiring. You also have Joe Blomqvist, who should get starting time this year. Philippe Larson is sticking around. And you still have Sergei Mirashov, who is on an entry-level deal himself. Now, as I've been seeing around with Tony Adirondacks and others, I'm sure Pittsburgh Hockey Now is picking up on this too. This raises the question, is there more in the works? Does this mean Blomqvist is going to get shipped? He's an expiring and he's cheap, $186,000. You're not going to ship off Mirashov, no. But Mirashov needs to be in the American Hockey League full-time next season. And so could this possibly mean that maybe you could find a sucker to take Jari's contract? $5.3 million for the next 3 years. You need a sucker who's going to take that. And I don't know if it's a sucker's market right now. So, with Silovs, or whatever, is he actually going to start in Pittsburgh this year? According to Puckpedia, he's number 2 on the depth chart. And I'd say it's probably Jari, Bloom, Silovs, and then probably Mirashov. Probably. Although Philippe Larson could get a call before him. Could get called up before him, the 26-year-old goaltender. This move just raises a lot of questions. Because you can't help but wonder is that if a goaltender is necessarily going to be dealt. We have 13 million cap space. That's with the Dumba contract. So what's our number 1 and number 2 goaltender going to be next year? I know a lot of you Pens fans, again, want it to be Blum and then Jari. But that's not going to be a great team that's in front of them this year. Remember, we're trying to go off the ledge for Gavin. We are being maniacal for McKenna. That's what I'm hearing from all of you. That's the plan, is to tank. And are you really going to run with a Tristan Jarry who might be hard to flip at the deadline? With the defense lineup of Carlson, Letang, Graves, Dumba, Connor Clifton, and maybe Ryan Shea is your seventh that's in front of you, and a lineup that's still the oldest in the league at 30.7 years old, and possibly Malkin's last year, it raises a lot of questions in terms of, is there another goalie move on the way? That could there be? And I'm just spitballing here, folks. And there's supposedly another goaltender deep in the system of Gabriel D'Aguirre. He was this past year's chosen in the third round, 84th overall. He's 18 years old. Don't worry about him. Yeah. So, interesting times, boys and girls, because as of right now, you have three goaltenders slated for the minors. And again, Miroshov ain't going to stay in Wheeling for an entire year. That's the ECHL for all of you wondering. So, do you flip Philippe? Do you ship out Blom? Is Blom gone? You don't send out Miroshov. You can't. You won't. Or do we finally get rid of Jarry and find a sucker to take him? Tell me what all of you think down in the comments. Dubas ain't done. There were no signs of a trade that was going to go down today. There was nothing. He just did it. And I have a feeling there'll be more on the way. Let's go Pens. Catch you next time.